Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. So for this video, I am vlogging my preparation for my 40th con, Summer SacAnime 2025. So in my last vlog, I mentioned that the con I was going to was my 49th con. It was actually my 39th con, and despite how many times I listened to the video while I was editing, I seriously don't know how I didn't catch myself saying 49 instead of 39. That was just so weird. I truly didn't catch it until after the video was posted. So I apologize for that. This is actually my 40th con. My last con from my last con vlog was my 39th con. But still, I am not that old. I have been attending anime conventions since 2007, so 18 years. And yeah, this convention coming up in 2025 is my 40th convention. So 40 conventions in 18 years, that's pretty damn impressive. And even I am impressed with myself and still sometimes don't believe it. So I'm not really sure how I'm gonna celebrate, if at all, while I'm at the con. Maybe I'll bring some goodies to hand out or something. I don't know, we'll figure it out when we get there. Right now I'm just focusing on my prep, and I'm so sorry, my hair is being really weird right now. So yeah, like I said, for this, right now I'm focusing on my prep. So what I'm planning on doing for right now is I've got a wig I need to steam. I've got a wig I need to wash and restyle. I have a piece of my costume, actually a couple pieces of my costumes that I need to just do a little touch-up dye job on them. They've already been dyed, they just need a touch-up dye because it's been a while since they've been dyed. And then I actually have some errands to run tomorrow having to do with my con prep. I would have done them today, except today's Sunday, and in my hometown, the weekends are extremely insane, and I don't like going out on the weekends. I prefer to go out during the week when everybody else is at work and school, because I don't work a regular work schedule. I work as a pet sitter. So running out during the week when everybody's at work and school it works out better for me because it's less people-y and not as chaotic, and people aren't as rude. So I hope you'll enjoy my con prep, and I hope you'll enjoy the con. And again, I'm so sorry I am doing this on my phone. I don't have a proper vlogging camera yet. I will get there. So let's get to my con prep.
I abandoned you? I would never. Look at her smile. Oh, yee. Yee. Who's the bestest girl? Yee. Yee.
Are you ready for a shopping haul? So here is the shopping haul, and I'm sorry if the angle is a little goofy. I have a tripod literally hanging off of another tripod with my phone attached to it. Gotta do what you gotta do, right? Anyway, so first things first, I got this from Target. It's one of those bodysuits. I actually don't need it for a cosplay for SacAnime, but it's absolutely next on my other cosplay, and I think I'll let that one on my other cosplay. Wow. It's next on my cosplay list, and I'm going to let that be a surprise. I may vlog about that if anybody is interested. I know the artist who I talked to about cosplaying their design was very interested in seeing the end result, so I may just do a whole vlog about it anyway. But I got that from Target. These shoes and these 3 shirts I got from a place called Plato's Closet. I actually need to do some research on them. I have actually never heard from them before, but apparently they're a secondhand store, or a secondhand clothing store. So I don't know if they're local or if they're a if they're a chain. I had never heard of them before, but all their secondhand clothes were really, really cool. You can buy and sell. So the shoes, basically my plan for them is I have a cosplay that's a 2-piece kimono dress, and it's made to look like Bakugo's hero costume. And I just think platform sandals with kimono dresses are really cute. So what I'm going to do with these sandals is I am going to take some paint, and I am going to paint these sandals to look like Bakugo's combat boots from his hero costume. And then the shirts that I got from Plato's Closet. So I have a Deku shirt. It says "Smash" across it. I have just kind of a group My Hero shirt, and then I have a Demon Slayer shirt. Obviously, these are not for cosplay, but their anime shirts were $6 a piece. And every time I go to a con, I pretty much strictly wear anime shirts when I'm not in cosplay. And I never have enough anime shirts. You guys should seriously see my closet. I'm not kidding. And then last but certainly not least is my haul from Michaels. So I have some black fabric dye because, again, one of my pieces of my costume needs a touch-up dye job, and I had no more black dye. And then I have red and yellow fabric paint. So Michaels was out of orange fabric paint, so I had to get creative and mix it. So I'm gonna make some orange fabric paint out of these 2 fabric paints, and that's gonna be part of the paint job I'm gonna do on the sandals. And then the Velcro. So once again, my kimono dress that's supposed to look like Bakugo's hero costume, it comes with a detachable belt with a bow on the back, and unfortunately the belt is just a teensy bit too small, which is actually kind of funny because the rest of the costume fits perfectly. It's just the belt is a little small, and my mom had actually suggested completely taking the belt apart and remaking it. And I know how to sew, but I don't have the confidence to do something that big, especially with something pre-made. So what my plan is, I have some orange fabric that's not the exact color of orange on the belt, but it's pretty darn close. And so the belt just Velcros together around the area that you're supposed to put it. So my plan is to take a piece of orange fabric and just kind of make an extension of the belt and use the Velcro to piece it together with the Velcro that already exists on the pre-made belt. So that's essentially my plan, and that's the shopping haul. And that is it so far. So let's get back into more con prep. I don't know how to do this hand thing.
Welcome to my bathtub. bathtub. So here is my Kirishima wig. He has clearly seen one too many villain battles and not nearly enough baths, so we're gonna remedy that. So essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm going to wash my Kirishima wig. So I don't really know if I have a real good angle, but you know, enjoy the show, and I apologize for getting in some of the shots. My faucet is that way, so let's go. And here he is, nice, fresh, clean boy. So for right now, we're just gonna let him hang and drip dry off my shower head, and we will restyle him another day. Welcome to my laundry room sink. I know this looks a little sus. This is actually a dye bath. So here is my Kirishima butt cape. I don't know if you guys will remember this from my last vlog video. I basically cut this out of an old bed sheet and then I dyed it, or actually I think I dyed the bed sheet first and then I cut it to the shape I wanted, but I essentially made this myself out of a bed sheet. And in my last vlog video, I actually had to do this little repair job right here to kind of cut down on the fraying. And so for this video, what I'm gonna do is, because this truly has not been dyed since I dyed it all the way back, I want to say in like 2019. That's what it's going to do right now. So what this concoction is, though, this is a pickle bucket I swiped from an old job when the pickles were no longer inside it and it was empty. So this is a pickle bucket, piping hot water, some salt, and some fabric dye, and my little Kirishima butt cape. I know I keep calling it a butt cape, but it's a cape and it goes around his waist. So I don't really know what else to call it. I don't think Horikoshi ever gave it an official name either, to be honest. But that's just gonna go right down there in the dye. And that's just gonna have a nice little soak and get nice and red, because, you know, Kirishima is Red Riot, and he cannot be Red Riot or with his butt cape being pink or faded red. You know, he's not Pink Riot, he's not faded Red Riot, he is Red Riot. So yeah, that's just gonna sit and soak in the dye bath, and it's kind of late and I want this to get a nice rich color. So, and I have done this before. I've been using Rit dye for years. I've been cosplaying since 2008, and I've been using Rit dye, I think, since about that long. So yeah, this is just gonna sit and soak in the dye bath overnight, and then I will rinse it really good and give it a mild wash in the morning. It is now the next day, and oh, look at that nice, beautiful, rich color that got. Oh, that is gorgeous. Okay, so my plan for today is I'm going to take this out of the dye bath and I'm going to rinse it off really good, and then I'm going to give it a very light wash in the washing machine. I'm going to pour the dye bath out and wash the sink and the dye bucket, and then I'm going to put the black dye that I showed you guys from my shopping haul into a new dye bath in this bucket, and then I'm going to do a touch-up dye on the other piece of my costume that needs the touch-up. So that's the plan, and it's kind of hard to do this one-handed, and it's awkward because my laundry room is narrow, and so I don't really want to be bumping into the tripod, so I'm going to do that off camera. All right, you guys, same as last time. Exact same Samuel, where did that come from? Wow. Same exact formula as before. Ye old trusty pickle bucket, piping hot water, salt, and this time black fabric dye. So this time around, I have some pants that I got from Savers, God, years ago. I think 2018 is when I got these. They were blue, and I have been dyeing them black for years because I seem to end up cosplaying a lot of characters that wear black pants, and they're just a little faded. So we're just gonna give them a touched up dye. So same as before with the Kirishima cape, just black instead of red. Let's do this off camera. All right, friends, the pants are done. Let's get them in the wash. So this is all I've gotten done on the shoes for today. Can't really do much else until these completely dry, which is fine because starting tomorrow I have a part-time pet sitting job. So
And then I've got another pet sitting job that overlaps with that. So I'm essentially all caught up on most of my cosplay prep for the con for right now. So I can actually afford to take a break until my pet sitting is done, which is really good and I'm really proud of myself. So until next segment, which will be for you guys in just a few seconds. Hello again. I am back from my back-to-back pet sitting job that I just had. I have a lot of those this summer. I have a week in between, and then I have another back-to-back pet sitting job that is not done until July, literally the day before my birthday. My birthday is July 10th, so I'm done on the 9th. Thankfully, literally the only plan I have for July 10th, my birthday, is to go see the new Jurassic movie. Like, just really low-key, because I'm gonna be tired after all that back-to-back pet sitting. But like I said, I have a week, and I don't have that much to get done in that week. I still have the rest of the painting to do on my Bakugo kimono sandals. I actually finished painting the orange parts off camera, but I will film a little bit of me painting the black parts. I have the bow, belt, obi, the belt part of my Bakugo kimono that I still have to fix. And then I have to style my Kirishima wig, but that is it. And I can do all of that in a week. Absolutely no problem. And on top of that, I have already started editing this video during my downtime during my back-to-back pet sitting jobs, and I didn't notice that this video is already going to be pretty long. So I have decided that this will be just kind of the cosplay and con prep will just kind of be an independent video in of itself, and then I will make the con an entirely separate video, just so this is not too freaking long. So that's the plan. It's still June, con's not till end of August, so we got time. Let's get to this. Continue with any more cosplay prep, I just want you all to say hello to the new lady in my life. This is the fabulous Catherine O'Hara. She was an early birthday present from my mom. So she will be helping me out with the next project I've got coming up and with future cosplays. Here we have my Bakugo kimono, well, the top part of it, on Catherine, and this white part here is a chalk outline I did of part of the belt. So basically she's going to be sitting here modeling for me while I forgive my excellent camera work, while I extend the belt.
So now that the belt is pinned to the kimono, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this fabric, again, as I said earlier in my video, it's not quite the same color as the rest of it, but it's close. And also, once I've got this extension made, I'll be wearing the kimono and the sleeves will actually be hiding it. So I'm not really too worried about the color being off. But now that I've got the belt pinned to the kimono, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this piece of fabric and I'm going to make the extension.
And this is Richard. He is also going to be assisting me with the belt extension. Okay, so after some technical difficulties with old Richard here, I got the belt extension sewed. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Velcro and I'm actually going to hand stitch it onto the extension. And I know you're probably sitting there going, well, you know, you already used the sewing machine for making the belt. Why don't you just use the sewing machine for the Velcro? I would. I am a novice at the sewing machine and I don't trust myself to use Velcro with it, and I literally just paid to get this fixed a few months ago, so I don't want to risk breaking my needle again. So that's why we're gonna do good old hand sewing, because at least I know I can do that. So let's get to doing that. So the Velcro is on, and I actually didn't realize until I started to open the package that the Velcro is actually adhesive sticking on the back. So that actually saved me quite a bit of work. So I didn't actually have to sew these on. These are just stuck on because the adhesive is really strong. So I was thankful for that. That saved me a lot of work. So the belt extension is done. Again, as you can tell, the color is a bit off, but this is going to be more toward the back and the sleeves are going to cover it anyway, and so is the bow. But just to kind of try and make it blend a little bit more, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the black stripe on so that it just matches and kind of quote unquote camouflages with the rest of the bow. But other than that, the belt is done. So I'm going to have a little bit of lunch and then we're going to do the black stripe. Okay, the belt is done, or the belt extension is done. So while that dries, we can now move on to the next and final thing.
So for our final project, we are going to restyle the Kirishima wig. I have styled this so many times that even after a vigorous washing, he still manages to hold his shape. But let's help him out a bit, shall we? we're done. Thank you so much for watching. I am so sorry that this video was a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be, but you know, that's the reality of cosplay prep. This is why I try to get it done as early as possible prior to the con, so that way I'm not doing it at the last minute. But I hope this wasn't too boring. I hope this wasn't too awkward. I'm naturally an awkward person, so you get what you get. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you will be looking forward to my next video, which will be the con. And I don't really know what else to say. Stay safe out there, stay dragonly. If you like this video, please give it a like, consider subscribing. No hard feelings if you don't, but it would be great if you did. And if you are going to SacAnime, I will see you there. Bye!